fusion of rational thought and political analysis. This is what your brain has been waiting for. News, politics, and issues. Enhanced. You have just joined the Wilkow Majority.
The next generation of great talk radio, the undisputed leader of the new school. Andrew Wilkow, SiriusXM Patriot. Phone line, as always, 1-866-95-PATRIOT. The email, spell my name right, WILKOW at WilkowMajority.com. Individual Patriot first, conservative second, Republican third. And working every single day to make this the most popular program offered by SiriusXM Satellite Radio, because it's based on one thing and one thing only, and that is rational thought. So welcome to the Wilkow Majority. I'm Andrew Wilkow. Oh, one of the first things that Chavez did was begin to price fix food. And when the shortages came, the next thing was to seize food processing plants. And when there was more shortages, seize farms, seize retail operations. Then drive up their debt and the deficit, having to import food when they once had a vibrant agricultural sector. Nicolas Maduro recently began to seize electronics retailers. Here's the latest. The Canadian Press and the Associated Press. Venezuela's president caps car prices as he extends crackdown trying to slow inflation. Venezuela's government is setting limits on prices for cars as President Nicolas, sounds like cash for clunkers. President Nicolas Maduro tries to close a popular loophole used by savers to guard against the fastest inflation in 2 decades, which, by the way, is 54%. 54% inflation. Do you know what it costs for the government to buy anything that it's going to import? I mean, my God. Governments are not going to sell, or other nations, other providers of goods and services are not going to provide products and services to Venezuela simply because they want to set the price. They got to pay what the seller wants to get. Headline Reuters. Power outage plunges most of Venezuela into darkness. Venezuela's second massive power outage of the year plunged much of the nation into darkness on Monday, prompting renewed talk of sabotage from President Nicolas Maduro's government and cries of incompetence from its foes. Power went off in Caracas and other cities around the country soon after 8 p.m. local time, to the intense annoyance of residents and commuters. You know, it's a funny thing. Maduro keeps demanding. More power, more time, more money, more individual freedom. Then he'll make it work. Joining me on the program right now is Elio Aponte of the Organization of Venezuelans in Exile, ORVEX.org. How you doing, sir?
Hi. Good. How are you doing?
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't have any family members in Venezuela. I'm not of Venezuelan descent. I'm not even of Latino descent. But I find myself so interested in what's going on in Venezuela, and I feel pity for the people that are victims of this government there, that I spend a lot of time talking about Venezuela because it seems to be the clearest and most modern example of what happens when a government demands unlimited powers to do good. It ultimately does bad.
Yeah. Well, right now what's happening in Venezuela is that, hello?
Yes, I'm listening. I'm here. You're on the air.
Okay. What's happening in Venezuela is that the communist project of Cuba and the former Soviet Union is being placed in Latin America. That's what they want to do. Right now, all the money, all the oil money of Venezuela is being used to expand the communist project of Cuba. Let's remember that in 1989, the Soviet Union disappeared. And not too many people know this, but in 1990, Fidel Castro and Lula da Silva met in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and they made a forum with all the leftist and progressive, so-called progressive parties, including the terrorist FARC of Colombia. They got they got together and they say, we have to join ourselves because we don't have the support of the Soviet Union. Now, in 1995, Hugo Chavez became a member of the Sao Paulo Forum. And according to the emails that were taken from the terrorist Reyes in Ecuador, the FARC helped Hugo Chavez in the Venezuelan elections of 1998. Venezuelan people voted for Chavez, not because he was a better guy, but it was like a punishment to the traditional parties. And as soon as Chavez took power in 1998...
Let me stop you right there. That
Sure.
sounds like how we got Barack Obama.
Yeah, we are worried about that too. Now,
It's a lot of people voted for Obama because they thought they were going to upend some traditional hierarchy. He was going to sweep in and make all these wonderful. He promised to sweep in and make all these wonderful changes. Keep going. I'm fascinated by this.
Yes. And then as soon as Chavez took power in 1999, after winning the elections of 1998, he changed the constitution. He changed the objectives of the country, and he took over all the powers, including the electoral power. So he's sustaining himself right now and his project because he is dead, but Nicolas Maduro is a puppet of the Cubans, and they are in power because they maintain a continuous electoral fraud in Venezuela. That's our tragedy. They are promoting the elections, but the electoral system is fraudulent. I mean, dead people is voting. A lot of people have multiple IDs, so they vote for different persons. That's what's going on right now in Venezuela. So,
Elio, let me ask you this. This is something I don't understand about what we call in the United States the Latino vote. So many Americans who come from Latin American countries, whether it's Guatemala or El Salvador, Honduras, Venezuela, have all experienced these forms of government that are purely corrupt, but continue to promise a utopian tomorrow. And after a generation or a life spent under this form of government, people from these countries will come to the United States and then vote for that form of government here. This is something that I, for the life of me, do not understand. I'm listening to you. I listen to Cuban exiles. I listen to people who have seen these forms of government up close, and they tell you shocking and horrible stories. And yet, when you look at the voter breakdown in the United States, it seems like all the people that are coming from these countries are voting for the very same bad ideas they just left behind.
Yes, you're right, because most of the people, not all of them, but you're right because there is no education. And I believe that we who understands the real values of democracy, freedom, we really need to be more outspoken and more aggressive in terms of telling the truth to the people. Because these leftists, really, they take the form of humanitarian people or humanism, but they are not human at all. I mean, they are destroying our Western civilization and our Judean Christian values. That's what we need to do, and that's one of the things we do at our organization, ORVEX, to show the truth and tell the people what's going on so we don't continue voting for leftist governments which only provide lies. And it's a psychological thing because people don't want to be responsible, and these leftists are telling the people that they don't have to worry about their future because they are going to take care of them, which is not the truth. God made us free. So they want to instill in people not to have any responsibility for the future. So they say, we're going to take care of you. That's what the leftists are doing. And we need to teach people that we really have to take control of our lives, and that that was it's a God-given gift to be free. And that's what I think is happening. The people who know the truth about this are not being talking too much about it.
No, we're trying. We're trying. Elio Aponte is joining us. He's the president of the Organization of Venezuelans in Exile, ORVEX, ORVEX.org.